That's all good.
What's your name again?
Asif.
So how come we're not going to radio station and?
Oh, because the show's on Sunday and today's Friday.
So are we gonna have a lot of beep beep beep? Like if I say
we'll
you
see.
mentioned cops and then I say these bastards, and oh beep, is that what?
We'll see. Yeah, it'll be like I'll say doot 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 doot.
And you're going to Calgary next week?
Yes.
For how long?
For 4 months.
For what?
For what? Got a job there.
And what are you doing?
I'm working at a legal clinic called Calgary Legal Guidance.
You promise me when you come back, are you returning if you're not shot?
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, depending on that, then yeah, I'm planning on coming
Big
back.
difference between Calgary and Fredericton, population-wise.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I'd say
maybe.
so.
So you're gonna give me a one-on-one interview when you come back?
Of course, if
Okay.
I might have something useful to say.
Do you have an opinion on Prince?
On Prince, amazing creative musician, multi-instrumentalist. He's a young guy. He's only 57.
Huh?
So, well, I guess he lived a full life, but it was a short life. So,
Okay, now it's your turn.
yeah,
You take control of this. So this is gonna be on CHSR
yeah.
Radio.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so let's just. All right, so Charles, I guess for starters, you want to just give an introduction to yourself.
Yeah.
Who is the blogger today?
Blogger?
How would you describe yourself
Well, thank
today?
you. Thank you very much for inviting me over. Very good. Any way to spread the word. A blogger is a person that's, beside being a pain in the butt, a blogger is a journalist with a opinion. And opinions I do have. And that's the reason I'm in so much trouble all the time.
Well, let's get into that. So what, this next little while this summer, you're dealing with a couple of court cases. One of them is involving accusation of assault on you. So do you want to just talk about how that story is playing out?
Well, that story, this issue should have never seen the light of day in court in the first place, which will be proven on May 4th. We have 2 days set up as a trial, and I was attacked on the street. I was talking to somebody, and this idiotic so-called poet, a penny for a poem, he's always hanging around coughing friends. And next thing you know, I saw him going after some immigrants about 20 minutes earlier. And this guy has a history. When he's drunk, he goes after people. I got 2 videos of him screaming and hollering. And he approached me. I'm not going to go into the whole detail because we only got 30 minutes. But bottom line, I was talking to somebody and he just came out of nowhere. And next thing you know, he went for my hat, my hat flew. I defended myself, hit him back. He sort of like I don't know if he's an actor, but he just flew down on the ground. Then he got up immediately and said, "That's all you got. That's all you got." And anyway, at the end, 6 months later, the police showed up at my door and charged me with assault. Yep. And I might add, Sergeant Matt Myers wanted me charged with aggravated assault. So they contacted the Miramichi police, and we got the papers that the Fredericton is a vendetta by the Fredericton police to come after me. And that's the story of May 4th, 9:30. Mark that on your calendar. But of course you won't be here.
So did you find it interesting how this even is getting to court at all?
Oh, there's no question about it. I mean, it's like I tell everybody who will listen to me, if it happened to me, what other person has this happened to? I mean, how time flies. I was coming up to UNB, and I was telling you, I get flashback. 10 years ago, came here collecting names on a petition because I was protesting in a tent in front of the legislature against Ritalin, protesting against kids taking drugs. And I used to be the biggest supporters of the Fredericton police force. Me and Brad Woodside, we used to do videos like this, and I would praise the cops. The cops were like gods. They were protecting our city against pain in the ass like yourself. Remember 2005? And myself, to become a pain in the ass, I made the mistake of filming that soldier that got beat up at the Iraq. And the minute he was acquitted, they came after me. And the problem I'm having is I'm Scottish. My mother's from Glasgow, Scotland. You see the movie Braveheart?
Yes, I have.
It's all true. We're not scared of nothing. But then it's been hell ever since. And this is just one part of many, many past confrontations with the Fredericton police force.
Right. So, what about since that incident? Have you had problems with the police since then?
No, they showed up at my door after that incident. Two female cops showed up at my door and they told me that I was seen riding a bicycle on the sidewalk 2 months earlier. I said, you could do that? 2 months earlier? Oh yes. See, the Fredericton police force has a habit of going by third-party complaints, but they don't truly investigate, because that would cost too much money, and you might reach the truth. Now, it was announced a couple of days ago that the Public Safety Department and the Justice Department are going to combine in one. Cops and justice together. That's scary. Because a cop is supposed to be the ears, the eyes, and the mouth of the evidence they've seen. That's not what's happening here. They're working with the Crown Prosecutor to make up stories, to go after certain individual of the community, Indians, wafer bums, minorities. That's who they go after. And, you're a fine example. My God, how time flies. 2005, was that 2005?
Yeah.
And you seen what happened when they stopped you on Queen Street. And they say, oh, you have a permit, blah, blah, blah. They couldn't wait. But this was 2005. This was really before social media, before Facebook, before Twitter. And it's a different form of media. Blogger, maybe I'm a has-been. But it's funny because every time I'm in trouble, something happens, the blogger. But it's just a thing, the cops now, I think they realize, and I think when this is over, I'm not naive. The cops are allowed to screw up 100 times. I'm only allowed to screw up once. Now this is scary. This is very scary. They could come after me with any kind of charges, accusation, anything. I mean, they even label me as a pedophile. How low can you get? If you want to get rid of somebody, call them a pedophile. But if they would have truly investigated, they would have found out I hate kids. I can't stand a little, you know what. But I'll fight for them. I'll live in a tent for 6 months to make sure they don't get drugged. But to take care of them, I got no patience. But what I'm saying is, answering your question in a long-winded manner, I'm sorry. But the cops, I think, after this thing is over, I think they will leave me alone. I'm not above the law. Charles LeBlanc, drink and drive, any criminal acts, come after me. But don't come to me. Come after me with foolishness.
Now, your experience has been interesting as far as this. When the assault charge came about, you didn't have access to a lawyer, you couldn't afford it, and you were denied legal aid. You want to tell me about just that whole experience?
There's no question about it. I loved it. As a matter of fact, I was talking to Bernard Richard, the former ombudsman, yesterday about this. And the public see, this is what they do. Headline, blogger charged with summary assault. Now, the public minds, hey, blogger got lucky. Summary assault. Well, that's least of the serious charge. It's not indictable. They don't even know what that means. But anyway, summary means you show up in court. I don't know if you've already been in court. I'm being sarcastic. It's intimidating for somebody they don't know. thank God I spit a lot. So anyway, somebody that don't know, big giant robes, black robes. And then next thing you know, it's a language you don't understand, intimidating. They say your name, Charles, blah, blah. You step forward. You are accused of blah, 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 blah. How do you plead? Oh, not guilty. Okay, fine. We set your trial for blah, 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 da, da, da. Oh, and then you bow at them. Oh, thank you, thank you. That's a mistake, to give a plea without seeing the disclosure. But people don't know that. You ask for disclosure. You put a motion in. I'm lucky. I had some friends that's very, very smart, and they told me what I could do. Okay, number one, summary, you go to legal aid. They said you don't have the right to a lawyer because it's a summary charge. There's little chance of you going to jail. So therefore, you don't have the right to a lawyer. But the judge says there's a possibility you could go 6 months in jail. Number two, there is no preliminary hearing. What was that word? No hearing to find out if there's enough evidence to proceed to trial. The judge, the prosecutor, and the police together are working together, throwing a Hail Mary and hoping the judge will be in the end zone and catch it, take the case. Now, you're stressed out, you want to know, okay, what you're going to do in court. Next thing you know, the big day arrives. Have you ever seen the movie The Godfather?
Yeah, a while ago. I gotta watch it again.
Yeah, I watched it about 500 times. But anyway, when the Godfather is buried, the bodyguards approach Michael. Say, Michael, can I talk to you for 1 second? You know, like, important stuff. So you're there with your supporters, if you have some, in court. Next thing you know, the Crown prosecutor arrives and says, listen, no, duty counsel arrives and says, listen, can I talk to you for 1 second? Excuse me, I got to talk to Charles alone. Make you feel important. Well, listen, I just talked to the prosecutor. Just plead guilty. You'll be on probation for 6 months. And you'll be a couple hours on community work. And the best part of all this is you're going to be out of here in 5 minutes. 5 minutes, you're out of here. It's just like a Namway salesman.
What a deal.
Oh yes, this is the deal of the century. Number one, you say, I'm not guilty. But, okay, not guilty. Do you have a lawyer? Fully knowing you don't have a lawyer. They said, no, I don't have one, I can't afford one. The working poor, and especially people with mental illness. Okay, can you represent yourself in court? Well, I don't know nothing about the justice system. Well, what are we going to do here? You have 1 minute to decide to plead guilty, to take his, his deal. Then, 99% of the time, you plead guilty. Then, you go, okay, they laugh, they say, okay, it won't happen again. Then you fart on Queen Street. Then the police grab you, handcuff you, and you say, well, I wasn't guilty in the first place. Well, you should have thought about that before you pleaded guilty. Or just like me with that blowhorn. When I showed up in court there with that blowhorn, the cops were all around me. River Rat, Matt Myers, Sergeant Matt Myers was all around. Hey, what are you guys going to do? Next thing you know, they forced me to plead guilty. My supporters, Brian Duplessis, John Howard Society and everything, and they said, no, turn the page, Charles, turn the page. And Bobby, next thing you know, I said, okay, can I leave with my head high? Yes, Charles, turn the page. Next thing you know, the prosecutor said, okay, I'll plead guilty. The prosecutor says, oh, we're going to have victim impact assessment. I stood up. Victim impact assessment? No, that wasn't part of the deal. Like, oh my God, I can't sleep at night since that blowhorn, that blogger. Now, can you imagine a person with ADHD with a blowhorn? Look at me now, I haven't kept my mouth shut. Can you imagine with a blowhorn? Oh my God. So what happened? Bobby Jean Simmons, a detective from the front, still a detective, comes in the court. She was in the back. When I said, no, Mary Jane Richards said, we're going to take a recess. Mary Jane Richard, the cop, comes to me. No, Charles. Nobody's going to testify, Charles. Everything's going to be all right, Charles. I said, what the F is a cop doing inside the courtroom and telling me everything's going to be all right? I was confused. Guess what? 3 days later, Bobby Jean Simmons raided my place with 10 other cops and charged me. That's where they accused me of exploiting children. Then at the end they raided my place. They went through quarter of a million pictures. They didn't find nothing. And to allow the police to do the dirty work within a courtroom is very, very dangerous. I'm sorry. Do I need another coffee? Huh?
You still have more there? Or? Yeah.
And I had 2 large double at McDonald's. Oh my God.
Right.
No, but the bottom line is this is happening to me. What other person this is happening to that will never see the light of day in the media? In the media, the Irving Fredericton paper. Headline, blogger to go on trial for assaulting a police officer. I said, assaulting a police? Headline. Oh, I seen people on the street giving me a dirty look. Not the first time. I said, there's something wrong. Then I seen that headline. Oh my God, was I ever mad. I called them. They wouldn't write. They wrote a retraction. The next day, tiny letters were sorry. It wasn't assaulting a police officer, but it's to brainwash the public. And once I'm sentenced to 6 months in jail, well, the blogger got lucky. So what? Assaulted a police officer, he only got 6 months. No. That was a misprint. That's not the
That's
story.
a huge misprint.
A huge misprint.
So which paper was that in?
The Fredericton Irving paper.
Yeah.
I'll say it, I don't say it too often.
Yeah.
The Daily Gleaner. The Moncton Irving paper. The St. John Irving paper. The Edmundston Irving paper.
Yeah.
The Bathurst Irving paper, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah. Wow. So this May, the upcoming appearance, what's the purpose of it?
What, the court?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Is this a trial?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, this is the trial of the century. It's and I had no lawyers. Legal aid in New Brunswick said no, and I decided. So my supporters started to raise money, and we needed $5,000, and we raised $4,400. We were $600 short. Anyone that wants to help, they could. Oh, your audience is about what? A quarter of a million people listen to this show.
250,000, 500,000.
Hey, with the information highway, who knows, right?
Who knows exactly? The whole world can listen to my show.
Exactly. Nobody listens to Fredericton, but maybe the whole world. No, you want to help me? Go to Google, write my name, or email me at oldmazon@yahoo.com. Oldmazon, OLD house at yahoo.com. And if you want to help make a donation, I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate the people that step forward. Then they give me the money, so I got a lawyer from Moncton.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, this is terrible, and the police are not going to look good in this at all.
All right. So tell me, what other news do you have you have another issue coming up in court this June, you were saying?
Yeah.
Before?
Oh yeah.
That's over another.
Yeah, that's for the city of Fredericton, representing the Fredericton Police Force, and they said that I showed you the paper, and they said that I was exploiting children for sex, and there's something about being labeled as a pedophile that piss off a person. And if this was Ontario or Quebec, a lawyer would have took this, and oh my God, he would have been rich. But this is New Brunswick. It's only a population of 700 people, and I don't believe the Law Society is they're not doing their job. They're not, we need lawyers that really, really fight. Pro bono lawyers that fight for human rights. We don't have that here in New Brunswick. So I took it upon my own to sue the city and the police force for labeling me as a pedophile, which is marked in black and white. And I just want to show that the system does not work. You know, that's the thing. But the other case I want to talk about is Brad Woodside. Do you think he's going to be re-elected?
Well, it seems like the way things roll in Fredericton, as they have been for, what, decades now, is people will just follow the same pattern that happened in the last election. I don't know if, I'm not sure if he's going to get beaten this time either. I have no reason to believe that people won't just do what they did last time. That's my opinion, at least.
But no guy ran against him 2 elections ago.
Yeah.
One Andrew something, I forgot his name. Tim Andrew, was it? I think that's what it was. And, that was just showcase. Last election, Matthew Hayes, unknown, came out of nowhere. I don't know why he didn't run for council first. I want to be mayor. Maybe he has a bigger ego than me. He got 36% of the vote. So this guy, Mike O'Brien, the lesser to evil, I don't know.
What do you think?
Well, I think Woodside had pissed off too many people on too many different issues, like the transit drivers and the McLean, what he said, and the French, and the list goes on, and then the transit manager that was charged for stealing, and he didn't call the police. Oh, yeah, we're just stealing over $5,000. And we'll just turn around and take it off your vacation pay. Or the IROC, 6 months strip joint license gives you $150,000. So there's too many different issues. I mean, personally, I like Brett, but he's at the helm, and they shut down my blog. Remember that? They held a big, huge news conference. And Brad Woodside agreed that my blog should be shut down. 25,000 blog posts gone. And good stories. I used to be the biggest promoter of the city. Now my blog is just no man bitching, complaining, blah, 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 But Woodside, I think Woodside is going to go.
So this is, what do you think would be the difference with, let's suppose Mike O'Brien won? Do you think there'd be anything different about the way the city's run?
Well, yes, I think so. And one thing that could be different is I told him my issues. I'm just a welfare bum, so that's what people say. So I know it's not politically correct, but have issues with Mike, what I want. And okay, we'll deal with it, And if he turns his back on me, oh boy, it's going to be a long 4 or 5 years for him. Because Mike always talked about the issue of the less fortunate. Strong on that. So, as I told Brad, we talk about my lawsuit and the cycling thing, and then yeah, and I told him, action speaks stronger than words. So we'll see if the same thing stands with Mike O'Brien.
What would you say if you were to make a list of the top 5 things that need to change in Fredericton? What would you say that would be?
Number 1, bring back the trains. Bring back the train railway here. Put all the snobs in there. Get them back to Ontario or Arizona, where they come from. We don't need no snobs. Number 2, the trails. No, that's seriously. But that's the problem. It's the attitude of the snobs looking at you and telling you they're much better than you. They give you the attitude they're much better than you. They're no better than anybody else. I'm not a good Catholic, but I'm a believer, and I don't think they're going to be in front of the judgment day and say, I'm a snob, let me go to heaven. Anyway, never mind that. See, have some more coffee, Charles. The problem, cycling. In Quebec, Ontario, everywhere, 16 years or less, you could ride, you got to wear a helmet to ride a bicycle. The adults, those Quebecois in Ontario, all around the world, they know cycling is good for you. It's good exercise. It cuts down on healthcare, on the cost of healthcare. Let the people exercise. Let them ride free, exercise. But no, they don't do that here. Here they got the rat patrol, or the park patrol, whatever, little daddy's boy. And then they go after the less fortunate. I got a police scanner the first day the the rat patrol was on last summer. First thing they come out, hey, how many tickets have you given yet? You give any tickets? They think it's a big joke to go after people that can't afford a fine and don't want them to exercise. So everybody goes downtown. They go downtown, and when the rat patrol is done, 8, 9 o'clock, people go on the trails. We got beautiful trails to enjoy, to exercise. And then Labor Day arrives. You see right now, people on the trail exercising all over the place. When the rat patrol arrive, the trails are empty. People go downtown. Then the people are complaining. How come no cyclists are down the road?
So what's the issue? Is the helmets? Is that?
No, the helmet is a provincial issue. But see, I've been fighting this for about 20 years. Frank McKenna put this on. I said, what's next? See, I've rode a bicycle across Canada and across the States 30 years ago. So I'm a former professional, not a pain in the butt, but anyway, professional cyclist. And I said, what's going to be next? Knee pad? Knee pads? What's going to be next? Elbow pads? And then you'll have to wear a goalie equipment to ride a bicycle. That's what my thought was in 1995. It never crossed my mind that the police, the Fredericton police, would use that avenue to go after certain culture. I mean, last year, I know a good friend of mine, a black guy. His name is Mike. I feel like Donald Trump. Oh, I know a good friend of mine, a black guy. Oh, a good friend of mine, Mexican, but a good friend of mine, And he turned around and said, this guy, he was stopped. He's black. He was stopped 11 o'clock at night. The police stopped him. He had no helmet. Next thing you know, the cops looked at him and said, oh, it's you. He goes, yes, sir, may I help you? Oh, it's you. Then they left. They knew the black guy. The black guy worked. They know him. But if they didn't know him, what do you think would have happened? So why did they stop a black guy riding a bicycle with no helmet? So I never expected the police to use that avenue. The police, I always said if a cop stops a cyclist because they're driving their bicycle on the sidewalk or not wearing a helmet, they're no cops. They're not cops. They're idiots. Get a life. Go after the real crime. Let the people exercise. Let them exercise. But no, they want people to go fat. They want. I made a presentation in front of public safety. Fredericton, Leanne fished it up. No, we need the helmet. But you know what the funny thing about all this is, Saf, is? You know what's strange? They will go around, they'll stop you here in the summertime on the trail. Let me explain to you what happened if you fall down and hurt your brain. Let me explain the danger. Driving 5 miles an hour on the trail. Let me explain how dangerous it is. But they see you ride a bicycle on top of 2 feet of ice in the winter on the sidewalk, and they don't stop you. If there's a time the police to serve and protect is telling them that riding a bicycle on the ice is not safe, I wouldn't even do it. So how come the police are not enforce the rule during the wintertime? Do I need more coffee?
All right, so you listed a couple of things. Anything else that needs to change in the city?
Anything else?
Yeah, I gave you a chance to give your top 5 things that ought to change.
The city is getting better. I mean, when I found out the health clinic was going to be in the Centennial building, I said, oh my God, the Berlin Wall is coming down. Because the Walford bumps, they stay. See, I'm just like a black person using the N-word, or I'm a frog, I'm French, so I can use Walford bump because I'm on welfare. But anyway, it's divided by King's Place, by Walmart Church. The Walford bump don't go by the Centennial building or the legislator. I lived in a tent for 6 months. You didn't see too many Walford bumps around there. And I said, with the methadone clinic, it's going to be a war. The bureaucrat's going to call. Oh, I just seen somebody with the ripped jeans and somebody here, the police. I said, the riot squad is going to arrive here every week. You know what? I was wrong. It worked out good. So maybe there's hope for the city to accept and acknowledge the other culture, the less fortunate, to be part of this city. But I think we have a long way to go to really, really fix this issue. It's a beautiful, you've been around.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful city. The river, I walk the bridges every night. It's 365 days a year. It's a beautiful city. But this justice system and the police, we need them to sit down, to have community meetings, because unfortunately, if the Fredericton police force do not sit down with the community and talk, what can we do to make this city better? What's going to happen? The RCMP is going to take over. And I don't want Quebecois. Notice I never use the M. Anyway, we don't want Quebecois. I don't want Quebecois police force to come here. I want people from Fredericton, from New Brunswick, that could talk to us. But we seem, the Fredericton police force got their own problems. And they should really, I don't know. And the other issue, I don't see, that's the only thing I see, really, is cycling. And the discrimination inside of justice. But we'll find out on May 4th if there's a corrupt justice system or a true justice system.
Right.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. We look forward to hearing what happens on the trial of the, what do you call it?
Trial of the century.
Trial of the century.
I could see the judge now come up with a verdict and say, okay, we must send a strong message to society that the drunken panhandlers must be protected in this city. I could just see it, and everybody, all the panhandlers will be going after the bureaucrats. Oh, then there'll be a war. But anyway, time will tell.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you too. Thank you too. Is that French?